Well, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. You know, there are 6 things, I'd say at least 6 things, that are really cool about the Tacoma. Little features. You know, people talk a lot about the Tacoma doesn't have any tech. It doesn't have any pizzazz, you know, like some of the other trucks out there. Well, I beg to differ. And I'm going to show you a few things that the Tacoma has, just little nuancy things, that make it pretty cool. Okay, we're going to start with the least cool of the cool and work our way up to the most cool, which I just discovered today, by the way. But the first thing has to do with the touch lock. You know, you walk up, or you step out rather, and you're going to head somewhere. You just touch the handle and the truck locks. Now, that's not the cool part. That's a neat part, but that's not the cool part. The cool part is that when we did that, it also locked the tailgate. Check it out. Now, I know this is available on some other trucks, but it was not available on my Tundra. My Tundra didn't do that. If I wanted to lock the tailgate on the Tundra, I had to whip out my key, walk around to the back, and lock it up. Now, as part of this, another cool feature is when you go up and you unlock the truck, just by grabbing the handle, again, key never left my pocket, the tailgate unlocks. Isn't that awesome? That should be standard in every truck. I don't know why it wasn't standard in my Tundra, and that was a 2018. It's not like it was 10 years old, but it wasn't. That is a cool feature. That is a feature that should be available, like I said, in every truck. Okay, now the next one we have to be in the truck to do. This is a pretty cool feature if you use it. On the Intune system, which you guys can see here, I have up, there is an app. So I'm on the audio screen now. You just hit app and then arrow over to the next field. And then you have this maintenance option. I think this is just awesome. If you look at this, there's all kinds of things you put in here, right? Or you can put in here. Now, if you're like me, you would depend on that little sticker that's right up there in your window, and maybe once in a while you look down at your mileage indicator to see whether or not you've reached that milestone where you need to do some kind of a maintenance, or maybe a maintenance minder or something comes on and you remember that way. But for those things that don't pop up like that or aren't right in front of your face, like tire rotation, the tires themselves, the battery, the wipers, maybe service when you want to take it in, air filter, you know, like that cabin air filter, personal stuff, brake oil. I mean, there are all kinds of things on there, as you can see, that you can set as reminders. And if you spend any amount of time in your vehicle, those are awesome to have. I just think that is one of the coolest things about this truck. You know, you can program things in there. You can even set the dealer, whoever you want to use. Whoever that is. Doesn't have to be the dealer you bought it. Maybe it's your brother Bob. Who knows? But you can set all kinds of things in there to be able to remind you when it's time for maintenance. I love that feature. I think it's just awesome. All right, the next one. And remember, we're working our way from least cool of the cool to the most cool. The next one is this auto dimming feature on the mirror. You see here you have a button that you can push to turn that thing on or off. Right now mine is obviously set to on. If for some reason you don't like that, you can turn it off. The button goes off, and then you can be assured that whenever anybody gets behind you that has, you know, the new bright LED lights, like me, or lights that are set too high or adjusted poorly, or maybe they're just some inconsiderate person that drives around with their bright lights on. I don't know. But that will automatically dim the mirror, of course, to cut down on the glare in your eyes. I love that feature. My Honda Civic, which is base, admittedly, sitting over there in the garage, does not have that feature, and it sits low. So I catch lights all the time from people behind me when I'm driving at night. Again, just a little cool feature that the Tacoma does have. I think it's just awesome. And again, I don't know why, but every vehicle should come standard with that feature in it. I mean, how much does it really cost? Okay, Next, and I wonder if you guys even know it has this. I have kind of forgotten myself until the other day when I was putting in my Raptor style lights and wanted to test the high beams and all that kind of stuff. But what it is, it's this button right here. It says auto. Now I'm curious as to how many of you out there even know what that's for. What it is, if you want to have the truck automatically flip up the high beams when the high beams are turned on, you can push that button. Now what it'll do is when you're driving, and you've probably seen this on the road, there's an oncoming car, and the one problem with this system is they don't seem to turn off quite soon enough. But that car's coming, and then eventually their lights go off, and then they come back on right after they pass you. It's probably because they have auto high beams, which is what this has. You go ahead, turn your lights on, set them on high beam, and then push that button. And that way, whenever you're driving and somebody comes upon you, it'll turn your high beams off automatically and then turn them back up once that vehicle gets past, or the ambient light that's coming at the truck gets dimmer. It's a pretty cool feature. And the other day it was funny. It wasn't when I was putting the Raptor lights in. It was when I put the high beam LED bulbs in. I wanted to test them, right? And I was in the garage, which was kind of up against a white wall, so whenever your lights are on, it's going to reflect back at the truck. I had the lights turned on, of course, because I wanted to test the high beams and see, how they were working. So I flipped the switch, I pulled it, and nothing happened. And I thought, oh great, I've done something wrong or I have a problem. Well, the issue is that I had that auto button pushed, and when I flipped the high beams on, the sensors detected all that light in front of the truck reflecting off of the wall from the lights that were already on, and my high beams did not turn on. Now, I will say a little tip for you: if you're ever testing your high beams in that situation and they don't come on, just remember you might have that button pushed, and there's nothing wrong with your lights. It's just picking up the light that's reflecting off of whatever is in front of you, and that's why they're not coming on. Still, pretty cool little feature, I think. All right, the next one, and we're getting pretty close to the end here, has to deal with cup holders. Everybody complains about cup holders. There aren't enough cup holders. Even though in the Tacoma you have a cup holder here, this, well, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I guess it's a change holder in my case. And then, of course, you have two up here up front, so you have room for 3 drinks here. But if you're like me, it never fails. You're going out to get something, and there's 3 other people that want something as well. Well, now you have a problem, right? You have your drink and the 3 other people, and there's nowhere to put the other one. And I'm not into holding drinks while I'm driving around. That's just a recipe for disaster. But what's cool is the 2 cup holders that are here, right behind your elbow on the center armrest, are easily reachable. You can grab something from Mickey D's or wherever you happen to be going and stick it right there in those cup holders. So in essence, it gives you 5 easily accessible cup holding areas for the driver or the passenger in the Tacoma, and I like that. It's pretty cool. The problem is I often forget myself that they're there. I don't know why. I mean, obviously they're sitting right there behind my elbow, but I'll forget they're there. Until usually after I've panicked, what am I going to do with all these drinks? And then I pull up to the window and it dawns on me, I have those 2 cup holders sitting right there. I think that's an awesome feature. I think that where they put them is very cool. They could have put them lower, for the back seat passengers. And then you'd really have to, reach around and reach down and hope that you hit the hole to sit anything. But they didn't. They put them up high enough so that they are still accessible for the front passengers, and I think that's pretty cool. So there are plenty of reachable, accessible cup holders for the driver and the passenger in the front of the Tacoma. And if you want to go really far, there is even a couple of them, or there are a couple of them over here in the driver's door. Not a lot, of course, is going to fit in there with today's giant-sized drinks, but for a normal-sized drink or a water bottle or whatever, you can fit stuff there. Okay, so we have reached what I consider to be one of the coolest features that the Tacoma has, and I just discovered this really today, and that is the headlights, the way that they function. There is a setting, again, in the infotainment system or the Intune system, where you can choose how long you want the headlights to stay on after you get out of the truck. I think it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and 90 seconds. Now, the reason I think this is so cool, the Tacoma, of course, doesn't have auto headlights. That is kind of a drag. Now, if you want, you can leave your headlights turned on. Leave them turned on, and then after whatever that time limit is that you set in the system is reached, in my case it's set for 30 seconds, the shortest I could, the headlights will go off. Now, part of why this is so cool for me is because I just put the Raptor style LED lights in my grill, and they are tied into the headlights. When my headlights are turned on, those Raptor style lights are on. And the reason I say I just discovered this today, I went to the gas station and I must have driven the truck the other night with the auto headlight, or the headlights on rather, and I didn't turn them off. Now, since they went off after 30 seconds, I never noticed, until I got in the vehicle today that they were even on. But after 30 seconds, or in my case today when I got done in the store and came back out, my lights had turned off. And I did notice as I was going in that they were on, and it dawned on me that I have this timer in the truck. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick, just because I think it's awesome. I'm going to sit you guys up on a rock over there, point you at the front of the truck. You should hear it start. I'll turn the lights on, and then I'll shut the truck off. And you'll see, and I'll fast forward through it, but you'll see that it doesn't take very long for those lights to automatically turn off. I'll get out and walk over there like I would if I had gone to a store. Okay, you guys can see that my lights are obviously on. You can see the 3 LED lights shining there in the front. So after about 30 seconds, which we're already into now, I've turned the truck off and I've walked away, you should see those lights go off. Obviously right now the headlights are turned on. So we're going to see if indeed that happens. We should be about 50. There you go. Did you guys notice that? They just now went off. So I think you can feel pretty comfortable about leaving them on if you have it set with that 30-second timer so that they go off not long after you leave the truck. Like I said, the downside with that is, of course, that every time you turn your vehicle on, your headlights are going to be on. Maybe that's a little safer, the better visibility that you have for people to see you, the better off you are, and certainly driving around with your headlights on. And if you have these Raptor style lights in there, people are going to see you a little bit easier. But I think that is just a cool feature. Now if I want, I can in essence have auto headlights. When I turn my truck on, they're automatically on. And when I go somewhere and park, they automatically go off per the time that I've set, down to 30 seconds. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, point out a few things. Sometimes the Tacoma rather, gets a bad rap for not having as much technology as the other stuff does. So I wanted to point out a few of these things, let you see some of the stuff that it does have. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's some other cool feature that you guys have noticed that I didn't. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on the web. Have a good day. Bye.